guys, how's it going? And welcome back to another race reaction for the 2021 Formula 1 season. And my oh my, what a weekend we had. Obviously, we had the last sprint weekend for this season, and I wish every sprint could be like that because it was absolutely amazing watching Hamilton come through the field. And obviously again in Sunday's race as well, the amount of pace that the Mercedes had this weekend was unbelievable. It just came out of absolutely nowhere, considering obviously coming off the back of Mexico as well, where their race pace was absolutely awful compared to the Red Bulls. It was just incredible to watch. So let's waste no time, let's get straight into the race reaction. So let's kick it all off then with Mercedes, and like I just mentioned, Lewis Hamilton taking the Sunday win with an absolute extraordinary drive, not just in qualifying, not just in the sprint, but also in Sunday's race as well. Honestly, he had everything thrown at him and he literally just responded every single time something went wrong with him. So obviously he had the 5-place grid penalty coming into the weekend already, which we all knew. We thought, oh god, that's going to be a bit challenging, which obviously gave them a lot of pace throughout the weekend. And then obviously he got disqualified in qualifying after getting pole because of the DRS incident that happened. Apparently their DRS opened more than it should have done, and it didn't meet with the requirements of the FIA, so they had to obviously disqualify him. So they started at the back of the grid for the sprint, obviously got up into 5th in the sprint. He made up 15 positions, is absolutely unbelievable. 15 positions, and then obviously had the grid penalty for Sunday's race, starting 10th. And then, like I said, just to win the race was absolutely extraordinary, really good, and a must win for Lewis Hamilton in this World Championship. Obviously now the gap is only 14 points, and it's literally coming down to the absolute wire. 3 races to go. It's going to be absolutely insane. Obviously the next 2 tracks we go to, we don't even know what's going to happen there because we've never raced at them before at all. And then obviously Bottas as well. Also had another good weekend, got pole for the sprint. Got pole for the Sunday's race, but obviously won the sprint. And I think he's the most successful driver for the sprint. Obviously, we've only had 3 this season. I think there's supposed to be 6 next year, so we'll see what happens there. But I still don't know how I feel about sprint. Obviously, I felt like this one was good because of Lewis coming through the field. But yeah, Bottas, like I said, Sunday's race got off to a decent start, and then obviously lost the position to Max, and then obviously down to turn 4. Went wide and then let Perez through as well, which was a massive mistake from Bottas, but nevertheless he managed to hold on and obviously got lucky with the virtual safety car as well, and also came home in 3rd for a double podium for Mercedes. So next up we'll do Red Bull then, and obviously like I said, Max Verstappen more or less led the whole race, and I think he'll be a little bit gutted to not obviously win the race. But obviously there was that very controversial moment where Max, obviously I think it was I don't know what lap it was. I'm going to be honest, but it was coming down to like the sort of 10 last laps of the Grand Prix, and obviously down towards turn 4, Lewis went down the outside, and then Max has gone down the inside. Tried to make it like he went in too fast into the corner. Obviously, nearly wiped Hamilton out as well. And yeah, it was just a bit of a reckless move from Verstappen. He did it very well, but what made it so suspicious was the fact that the FIA didn't have any onboard shots of the incident, and they even admitted that literally the next day after the Grand Prix. They said they haven't seen any onboard footage of Verstappen, and obviously we didn't actually see any during the TV feeders either, which I thought was very suspicious. Like, why would they not show the onboard of Verstappen's car? I mean, obviously, you know, Lewis still won anyway. There was nothing really came of it. It was only noted as well. It wasn't even investigated, which is what a lot of people are talking about, and it doesn't really make sense as to why they didn't. Well, first of all, they didn't investigate it, and second of all, didn't even have onboard footage of Verstappen's car, because we saw throughout the whole weekend we had onboard footage of Lewis's car, Sainz and Lando at the start, Gasly and Ocon, Tsunoda and Stroll. So I don't really understand what was going on there. To me, it just shouts suspicious to me. But either way, Verstappen only 2nd. And Red Bull's pace, honestly, was okay, but Mercedes, like I said, I don't know where the pace has come from for Lewis, but it's just absolutely shot up. I don't think it's all down to the power of the new engine. It can't be, because like I said, Red Bull, obviously we know how strong they've been this season, but it's just very odd. And then Perez again had a quiet one really. Obviously got, like I said, unlucky with the virtual safety car. Bottas managed to jump him. But yeah, he did all he could. Obviously, he had that little scrap with Lewis as well. when Lewis got him around the outside, and then Perez got him back into turn 4, but then the next lap he used all his battery, so he was vulnerable to Lewis again. So tried to put up a fight, but yeah, only 4th place for Perez. So next up we'll do Ferrari once again. They had a fantastic weekend, and another quiet one really, just sort of there or thereabouts. 5th and 6th for Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz. Obviously, like I said, just mentioned Carlos Sainz having a little incident with Lando. Obviously, the two best friends on the grid coming together at the start. Bit of a racing incident, to be honest. I thought Lando sort of thought that he cleared him. Didn't want to be on the dirty side of the track and sort of just come across. Thought he cleared Sainz, and then they made contact, and the punch happened immediately. But yeah, no, Sainz, an innocent bystander, really didn't really have anywhere to go, and the stewards didn't take any further action. But yeah, once again, a really good result for Ferrari, and also move ahead further in the Constructors' Championship as well. So next up we'll do AlphaTauri. Pierre Gasly finishing in 7th again. I think he had another good qualifying, about up in like 5th place or so. Well inside that top 10 once again. A really good job from Pierre Gasly. But unfortunately in the sprint I think he got jumped by the 2 Ferraris. Didn't have the sort of race pace to hold on to them. But yeah, no, nevertheless still more points for AlphaTauri. And once again he's proving that he's having a fantastic season. And Yuki Tsunoda, like I mentioned again with the onboard situation, 15th for Yuki Tsunoda. He was running in the points and then just got absolutely well, I say he got taken out, he absolutely took out Stroll, absolutely dive bombed for a mile back. And I don't know, I mean it was optimistic, but I still feel like Stroll should have seen him coming a little bit. But nevertheless, people are calling him the new torpedo now, so we'll see how that turns out for the rest of the season. You never know. But yeah, no, Yuki Tsunoda, 15th place and no points. So next up we'll do Alpine, and Esteban Ocon and Fernando Alonso both finishing in 8th and 9th, so a double points finish for Alpine. Once again, a bit of a quiet race for them really. I think Alonso was having a few battles here and there, and then we also saw that battle with Ocon and Gasly, where they nearly came to contact. A very similar incident to Verstappen and Lewis really, but a little bit different. But yeah, it was a good day for Alpine really. Didn't really see much of them, so I can't really say much apart from that battle with Ocon and Gasly. So next up we'll do McLaren. Like I said, Lando Norris finishing in 10th place, so still managed to get a point for McLaren after dropping all the way down the back of the grid after that puncture. And I think McLaren had like a 6-second pit stop after, even with the puncture, which I didn't think was that bad for a puncture pit stop. But a very good job from the McLaren team. And then, like I said, it was kind of damage limitation, so they still managed to get a point out of it. But still, with Ferrari finishing in 5th and 6th, it's not going to be a lot for McLaren, and they won't be too happy about it. But obviously, you know, it's what it is. Daniel Ricciardo actually DNF'd. I'm not really sure what the issue was. I was watching the hour highlights on Sky Sports F1, so I didn't actually really see what happened to Ricciardo. Holly actually pointed out to me. She was like, "Why is Ricciardo DNF'd?" I was like, "Oh, I don't know." But yeah, scoreless for Daniel Ricciardo, unfortunately, and only 1 point for McLaren. So Aston Martin are next in the list. Sebastian Vettel finishing in 11th, and yeah, once again didn't really see much of the Aston Martins apart from Stroll, like I said, who DNF'd later on in the Grand Prix when he got absolutely dive bombed by Yuki Tsunoda. He lost a lot of bodywork, and I think the car was too damaged to continue, so I think they just retired for that reason. So yeah, scoreless for Aston Martin. So next up we'll do Alfa Romeo. Once again, we didn't really see much of the back 3 teams. Once again, Raikkonen finished in 12th and Giovinazzi in 14th. I think the only thing we sort of saw of Alfa Romeo over the weekend was Raikkonen having the spin with the 2 Alfa Romeos coming together, which obviously isn't good for the team, but that's pretty much it to say for Alfa Romeo. Similar story with Williams and Haas again. I'll always just do them together because, like I said, we never really see much of them unless George Russell or someone has a fantastic weekend. But yeah, once again, Williams didn't have much pace either. George Russell finishing in 13th and Nicholas Latifi in 16th. And then the 2 Haases at the back of the grid again. So Mazepin actually finishing ahead of Mick Schumacher. I think Schumacher had an incident with, I can't remember who it was now. I think it might have been one of the Alfa Romeos of Giovinazzi, I think. No, Kimi Raikkonen it was Kimi Raikkonen into turn 1. I think Mick just had a correction of oversteer in the mid corner, lost his front wing, and then that was his race pretty much over, to be honest. So yeah, once again, not really much to say on the back 3 teams. So that's going to be it, guys, for the Brazilian Grand Prix, or the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. But I'm going to call it Brazilian Grand Prix because it just sounds better. I don't like Sao Paulo Grand Prix, it just sounds weird. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Once again, as always, let me know what your thoughts and comments were all about the race and the whole entire weekend. Like I said, I feel like this sprint was amazing, and I felt like the whole weekend as well just went on for so long. I don't know why that is. But obviously, again, it was a few later ones, and I actually get to saw some of it live, which doesn't normally happen because, like I said, my part-time job, I always catch it up on like highlights and stuff because I always work weekends and things like that. So but yeah, no, it felt like it went on for an eternity, but I absolutely love Formula One, so I'm not complaining. But yeah, like I said, guys, if you want to let me know all your thoughts in the comment section of this video, and also just let me know what you thought about the Verstappen incident with obviously Lewis. And obviously, you know, I forgot to mention as well about the fine that Verstappen got and Lewis got after the Grand Prix after he won. There was a very good chance that he was going to get disqualified or have a fine for removing his seatbelts after the cool-down lap. So hopefully nothing came of that, thankfully. So yeah, all good there. And Lewis gets to keep his win, luckily, because obviously we don't want to see everyone being disqualified and stuff because that's no fun for the championship and things like that. So yeah, the championship is still alive. 3 races to go. Who is going to win the championship? Let me know in the comment section. And obviously, like I said, we don't know what's going to happen at obviously Qatar. I think that's how you say it. And obviously in Saudi Arabia as well. Is it going to be a Mercedes track? They've really upped their engine at the moment. And I was watching the Internet's Best Reactions with WTF1. And Matt was saying that they've actually turned the engine fully up at the moment. That's why they were so fast, but they're literally pushing it to the absolute limit. So hopefully Mercedes are confident in their reliability, because that's, I think, going to determine whether or not they get this championship or not. And the last thing we want is a DNF. So anyway, I'm going to stop waffling. I'm going to go now. But like I said, if you have enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you are new as well. And I will see you all again in the next one, guys. Take care.